On April 25, 2022, Trinh Nguyen wrote a will, describing what she wanted done with her two sons' ashes as well as her own remains. It also included this phrase: "Please call 911. My children are dead in their beds." On the morning of May 2, Nguyen shot her sons, 13-year-old Jeffrey and 9-year-old Nelson, in their heads as they slept in their beds. She lived in a duplex that her ex-husband's family owned, and she had received an eviction notice. Her family was supposed to vacate the property on May 3, the following day. After shooting her children, she went out on her lawn and sat down with a box of pictures. Her immediate neighbor, and her ex-husband's nephew as well as her children's cousin, Johnny Melchiondo, heard the gunshots and came outside to see Nguyen on the lawn. He proceeded to try to talk to her, and she gave him the box of photos, asking him to give them to her ex-husband. He took the box, and when he turned back around, she had a gun pointed at his face. She pulled the trigger twice, but the gun did not go off. Johnny wrapped his arms around the small woman in a bear hug, and took the gun from her hands. She then asked for the gun back, claiming it wasn't loaded. He checked the barrel and saw that it definitely was. He then called 911, and Nguyen fled. She claims she went to New Jersey to buy drugs to try to kill herself. Police found her in a nearby church parking lot, in her vehicle, foaming at the mouth. She was transported to a local hospital. Her trial has been delayed 4 times, the latest being this month. She is reported to be hospitalized at this time. No information has been released on her condition or when the next date for trial will be.
Jury selection for Milton Clark is scheduled to begin Friday, January 26. Wilkes-Barre police allege that Clark stabbed his 17-year-old great-nephew, Therese Prevalin, in the heart, in the home that they shared with Prevalin's mother, Lynn Williams. According to a restraining order filed by Williams, she was in the bath tun early on April 23, 2019, when she heard Clark, her uncle, come up the stairs. Williams called to her son to get Clark away from the bathroom door. She then heard Clark go back downstairs. Prevalin then arrived at the bathroom door, and she told him that she was uncomfortable with Clark in the house. She asked him to go tell Clark to leave. Prevalin then went downstairs to ask Clark to leave. Williams then heard her son screaming. She went downstairs to find them physically fighting. She told them to break it up, and went to her room. Prevalin then came into her room, saying, "Mom, he stabbed me." Williams called 911 and Clark fled the scene. Police found him half a mile away, still holding the bloody knife. He was arrested. Prevalin died 2 weeks later, after being released from the hospital. Clark initially claimed self-defense. "I'm innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. He tried to hurt me. My nephew is 18 years old, so, therefore, I did what I had to do to protect myself. So he tried to hurt me on several occasions since my arrival." He's quoted as saying. In 2020, Clark was declared incompetent to stand trial, and court proceedings were halted until the end of the year, when he was deemed well enough to go to trial. He pled guilty to third-degree murder but mentally ill on August 26 of 2022. But on October 12, his attorney said he wanted to withdraw his guilty plea, claiming their client was not guilty. On November 17, the judge granted the request. On January 20, Luzerne County District Attorneys filed an appeal with the State Superior Court, challenging the judge's decision. Prosecutors argued that a mere claim of innocence is not sufficient after entering a guilty plea. The judge will decide Friday how this case will progress.